Sometimes, as a director, you make strange/questionable decisions. Of course, it could be about making a bad movie like The Mousetrap, or it could be a different questionable decision such as remaking your own movie that never should have been touched in the first place. Such a thing like that is exactly what John Woo did when he, for some strange reason, made a remake of his breakthrough movie from 1989 called The Killer. A quite iconic movie that never should have been touched, especially when he made it as bad as this, because this is just an attempt to make it into a more modern or wokeified version. The first problem with this movie is the C character played by Nathalie Emmanuel, whereas short hair not necessarily is the problem, but it is a very woke character as aimbot and gets no opposition in the movie. In all the fights, she is very OP and she knocks down large men like it should have been the easiest thing in the world, which is of course not realistic, and it is only done to please the new way of the assassin movies that women can be equally good assassins as men. That of course could happen, but even John Wick gets more opposition than the C character, which highly breaks a sweat during this movie, and is a very bad character. Another issue with this movie, which actually is highly laughable, is the attempt from Sam Worthington at making this Irish accent, which he clearly misses completely. It sounds so fake that actually everyone could have done it better. There's even no wholehearted attempt from him to make this right. That's why it would have actually been better if it did his more usual British accent from the UK if it could not have pulled it off in the first place. Perhaps the most awful feature with this movie, and perhaps the number one reason why John Woo should never have remade The Killer, is because of the three main characters here, C, Finn and C. They have no chemistry between them. In the original show, Yul Fat and Danny Lee had a lightning chemistry between them that actually was the one force that drove that whole movie. The chemistry between the blind singer and those other mentioned actors was also very well in the 89 version. And when you desecrate that chemistry by creating this movie, it should never have been remade in the first place. But I guess John Woo might be running out of money. Generally, also the movie is quite boring that almost will make you fall asleep because of the extremely heavy and boring dialogue between the actors, which for some reasons are swapping quite messy from French to English. In addition to all the other bad stuff about the movie, there's one more feature I really do not appreciate about it. That's where the action scenes comes in, and in general they are few and far between in this movie, where most of them comes out at the tail end of the movie, and they are not done very well either. In this movie you also lack the certain tension we saw in the 1989 original movie, where at times you could actually throw up an edge of your seat experience for the viewer. Why John Woo remade this movie? Of course, he only knows the real reason, but the result of this remake is a horrendous movie that is so bad it might deserve the title as one of the worst action movies in a decade. But I guess it goes to show when you try to update your own movie and make it more modern, where the assassin has to be female, for instance, you walk on thin ice right from the start. And for me, this is a 3 out of 10 and a very awful movie that never should have seen the light of day.